it's okay that we talk over the intro because he's going to turn
Oh, okay.
Archie Bell on the drums
Archie.
sometime. Are you ready? Are we ready? I didn't want it faded in. Jesus Christ. Come on, man. I want it from the start. I want boom, 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 boom. People know this damn song, especially West Siders like us. Okay, that's all right. Well, you know what I'm saying. I understand. That's okay. Just start it with the boom, 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 boom from the very beginning, and then count it off before we get to going. You don't have to fool with any other volumes.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
See, we can talk right now. Just be loose because it's going to turn on the sound anyway. Why do you talk so much, Emmett? Wake up. He's here. He really is. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we do not own the rights to the song, but we know this band. This is Archie Bell and the Drells from Houston, Texas, baby.
I'm Archie Bell and the
Listen,
Drells.
see that? You hear
Of
that?
Houston, Texas.
Yeah, we grew up with that
We
stuff.
don't only
and
sing,
we like it.
but we dance
This is
just
San
as good as
Antonio
we want.
Musicians Talk Show
In
Network,
Houston,
ladies and gentlemen.
we just started
And
a
I'm
new
here with
dance.
two of the most fabulous guys that you'd ever want to sit down and
Listen
talk
to music,
to.
we tighten up
This
with.
is the Emmett Pastran Jr. Show. Now, I left out a middle name. What's his middle name? No, what's the middle
Come
name?
on,
Michael?
now,
My middle name.
No, not you,
tighten it
him.
up for me now.
My middle name is Merced.
Merced.
yeah.
Emmett Merced Pastran Jr.
Tighten up
It's
on
his
that
show,
bass.
ladies and gentlemen. I can't say all that.
I'm gonna say my name after that.
And then Dan Michael Escoedo.
Yeah,
I mean, this guy, he's been around por donde quiera, man. He's played with the Royal Jesters, Danny and the Dreamers. A little louder, Dan.
The Entertainers.
The Entertainers and Jimmy Edwards.
Oh, yeah.
Cállate.
Good memories.
You man, your guitar, keyboard.
Oh,
¿Qué
yeah.
más?
Pete Goddison, who's not with us anymore. He used to play with Latin Breed.
Oh yeah, Latin
Oh,
Breed.
I've heard of Danny all my life. Enjoyed his
Between
career, let me
y'all's
tell
two
you.
voices, I don't stand a chance.
I'm sorry.
That's cray, man. Anyway, we're going to get to talking right now, but yeah, that's Archie Bell and the Drells. We grew up with this kind of stuff, and so we're going to get right to it right now.
You know, before we do, let me just say
What,
one more
what?
thing.
Before we
Archie
do, so
Bell
don't
and the
cut it.
Drells, what a
Don't cut it.
great intro. Yeah, I
How
love
about
that.
that?
I love that.
Isn't that, you know,
Very
I figured
apropos.
This. I figured this, Emmett. When I have my own band, and I'm thinking about calling them the Pimpones, Los Pimpones del Norte. What do you think, Dan? That kind of does away with your Panchito Papa, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Panchito Papas. We're going to have a little bit of that.
Yeah, he'll be here. He'll be here a little bit later.
This is his alter ego, ladies and
Got him.
gentlemen. I'm not joking.
Got him in the trunk right now.
Which one? Yours or the car's?
You know, the car's trunk. No, my
We're all
trunk.
getting a little wider.
I'm starting to fart dust, dude.
Hey,
I'm getting old.
you know, this is cray, man. I lost 12 pounds. By the end of the show, I'll probably have gained it just because. That's the way it happens, right? When you get older.
It works that way. It
Everything
works that
freaking
way.
drops.
He is starting to inflate a little bit here.
Okay, my friend, let's go ahead and get to started here. The Emmett Pastran Show, my co-host and my co-host over here, Dan Michael. You know, it's just incredible. They changed up their names so many times I can't even keep up with them. I can't.
Well, I'm glad to be here no matter what name you're going to use with me.
We're about, what, 2 years ago we were talking about doing this?
We started about 2 years ago, that's right. And then you know what happened in the country and then the world.
Everything
So,
happened.
COVID came and wow, here we are 2 years
You know,
later.
and then when you go to try to get help, they call you a drug seeker. Now listen, who doesn't want drugs in the middle of COVID? I'm just, I'm just saying. For me, they put me out a little while. I'm too awake for a moment or two. Anyway, no, I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it
I
like
can't
that.
get COVID. I'm spoiled.
No, I'm just talking about getting high, Dan. I'm not talking about COVID.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, we're.
Pass the time away for
I'll
crying
talk
out
to
loud.
Emmett.
You know, I've got to admit, and this is the first time in my life I'll be able to say this, but I don't know what happened, but just about a year and a half ago, I lost all taste for alcohol or any
Good.
recreational drugs whatsoever. I think it was because I fell in love.
Yeah.
So I think that really was what.
After we
With your
finished,
bass?
light it
Well,
up.
no, I've had
you
an
brought
affair
your
with
bass,
a
I was
bass
just
for
curious.
a long, long time, but you know, it led me down some very
He has
dark
little,
paths.
little basses
so.
around there, little
Oh, yeah,
male
yeah.
bass, little female
Junior
bass.
basses. I get it. We got our man.
I
Glad
gotta
to
get
be
bunch of 'em.
alive.
I got to get off the booze. No, I quit drinking 7 years ago.
Oh.
7 years ago. I had a vision, scared the hell out of me,
Mhm.
and I woke up sober and I stayed sober.
Oh.
So it's
Well,
been
I
7 years now.
I got to say, I quit drinking about a month and a half ago. And I drank a couple of beers, and then I quit for a month and a half. Because I'm not all that into it. I mean, I think our systems have changed. It's not, I don't know. Just like you guys have said, all of a sudden you wake up and you just, I like the taste of beer and a steak.
I drank enough for 2
But if I'm not drinking a steak, there's no need to drink.
There you go.
There you go.
Eating a steak.
You
Did
know,
I
I've
say
never been
drinking
a beer
steak?
drinker myself, but alcohol, oh my
Wow.
God, don't put any whiskey in front of me, at least in the past.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
But it's gone now. I can stare at a bottle of whiskey all night long and not even open it.
Emmett,
Really?
have another shot, Emmett, here. No.
You just
Thank
got
you.
through drinking.
I have the same
it's,
thing.
it's true what they say about you. You are a bad influence, Dan.
You're not only a bad influence.
And I'm proud of it. You know, I'm proud of it because we have too many good influences out there, and
Yeah.
we need a bad one every once in
Sure.
a while, just
Well, we
to
got one right now here
just to
today.
wake you up a little bit.
Like Panchito Papas, who hangs out way atop the county jail.
Pancho.
You know,
Don't
and I
make-
told Danny I used to be there.
I
went
try
to
real
those.
hard, but sometimes I can't do it.
Hey, head flirt at what color tone?
Color
paint?
tone paint. Been there almost 25 years now.
Man, I
this
bet
December.
you sell a lot of
What
paint
is
with
that?
that voice,
I
man.
do sell a lot of paint.
You could give them the wrong kind of paint and they'd buy it.
You know, they buy the wrong kind of paint all the time, and they like it. So
Yeah. 'cause they
What's
get to
your
come back
what's
and
the
talk to you.
theme song for that place? Color My World.
there you go.
There
You
you
hit
go.
it
Oh my
right on the
gosh,
head.
Yeah.
This guy is sharp.
He's a
Yeah, he's
thinker.
sharp.
He's a thinker. And from Burbank.
From Burbank, class of '69.
Wow, you know, my cousins, did you know any Ocampos over there? My cousins
As
all
a
went to
matter of
Burbank.
fact, I knew there was some in school, but I didn't know them personally.
Okay.
But
Oh,
absolutely.
so you heard of them?
Oh yeah, I've heard the name for a long time, since I was in high school. Yeah.
We had about 3 gangs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding. No.
This is a very serious conversation.
Yeah.
I'm starting to.
So your favorite places, man? The Shade Tree Saloon and Roadhouse.
You know, I played the Shade Tree many, many times.
I was gonna say they paid
so
you to say
many.
that.
Yeah, they do. I still on a retainer. You know,
I would.
So. But I've worked there with quite a few different types of bands, so whether they be rock bands or country bands, but it's always a blast.
Oh, we're gonna talk about the bands and the music of which people are covering. We just talked about Walter. Walter, shout out to Walter. How do you say his last name?
Don't get me lying. I don't know.
You know, it's hard. It's hard enough.
He knows who he is.
Yeah, Walter, we love you, man. But over here we got Dan Michael.
I got a new country song out.
You do?
Yeah, you stole
What's it
my
called?
wife, you horse thief. It's a beautiful ballad.
You stole my wife, you horse thief. Are we getting this?
I'm gonna get
Caleb?
some phone calls for this.
I just want to give a quick shout out to my new engineer, Caleb. I won't say his last name, Smith. You don't look him up, okay? He won't work for you. He's here though, and we just went through hell, but it's okay because I am. So anyway, gang affiliation? That's what I have. Are you in any gang? Yeah, because you grew up on the west side, didn't you?
Yeah,
You went to Holy Cross because nobody else would take you. That's what I understand.
I had to go to Holy
talked to the
Cross
principal.
because in junior high, I was threatened to be beaten up all the time because I had Danny and the Dreamers. So
Why would they want to hurt you?
I
A
have
musician.
no idea. So they put me at Holy Cross, and now the guy's sisters were after me at Holy Cross. So
Jeez,
didn't matter
man.
where I went, I was going to be.
Did those guys pray over you and stuff?
Now they beat me up.
Even Holy Cross
None of the
wasn't that
guys
holy?
liked him because he used to get all the girls.
No,
terrible.
that's
I'm
not
saying,
true.
you know that's
He
true.
had to be a
Dan.
hunk,
I
right? He
wish.
was a hunk in his
I got a
young
few
days.
guys too. I know.
And a few guys. That's
No.
true.
I mean, but
You
listen,
did too, Emmett. With that voice, listen to that.
Yeah.
I melted when the minute I heard his voice.
I was saying, between you two guys, I don't stand a chance, man.
Right, and we're Hispanic.
Well, I'm sorry.
Puro pinche
but
mexicanos.
there's some truth to that, Danny. I probably had more boyfriends than girlfriends. in
I
my
don't
life,
want
of
to know
course.
that.
But I didn't reciprocate. No.
Oh, now we're going to another
That's
show
That's
here.
the talk
Right,
show,
I
ladies and
didn't
gentlemen. Have a good
reciprocate.
night. No, just kidding. Hey, Devil went back to hell, Dan, because of the heat.
Yeah. Yeah, he went back. I got a letter from him saying, hell, I'm going. Hell, I'm going. Yeah.
It really did get hot enough, and Dan put that out on Facebook. He said, it's so, what did you write?
I said, it's so hot the devil went back to hell.
Isn't that a riot?
That is hot.
That
It's
is.
so
There's a
hot,
song
the
in there
devil
somewhere.
went back to hell.
And my wife says I stay up all night thinking this stuff. You know, she
No, he wakes
she
up.
even looks
He
at me
wakes up
sometimes.
thinking this
and
stuff.
she looks at me and shakes her head and just I already know that finger.
She
already.
doesn't even laugh?
I already know her finger.
You get me at the a Goodwill ambassador, man. You get me on that one. That's what you are. You bring joy and
I used to
and
work at
laughter.
Goodwill.
Yeah.
Well, look,
I bought all this stuff at Goodwill.
That's the
did.
first good thing anybody has said about him in this interview right now.
Make sure Danny's up.
But let me just throw this at you now.
Right.
Quite a few years ago, I was a big fan of Danny's, and I still am, of course.
God.
Everybody.
But I would go over to his place, and he'd have the latest CD that he's done, and he always turned me on to him. I'd bring him home, I'd rush him to the house.
Your wife.
I'd put
So
him on the
we're
player.
getting high. He
And
says,
man,
"Turn me
my
on."
wife and I would dance to every song. So, Danny, you brought me a lot of joy, and my wife too.
Wow.
She's gone now, but you did bring us a tremendous amount of joy, Danny.
And Danny's my co-host today because we have a co-host and a co-host. He's crazier
go.
than you are. Just to let you know. That's how.
I joke a lot because I'm afraid to get serious. Because life is too damn serious.
Oh my
Amen,
God!
amen.
You know,
I
so-
got some serious for you.
You know.
We'll talk about that later.
Oh.
Hey, you've been playing 40 years now.
Well,
Maybe 40 plus.
I'm going to tell on myself. I'll
Yeah.
be 73 here in about a few
my
days.
God!
And I started playing when I was about 14 years old.
You see, all
At
you little
Burbank High
guys,
School,
I mean,
so.
the younger guys, we'll have you on, man, but I got to pay my dues to the guys I grew up with. You know, it's my show, for crying out loud. Well, it's our show.
thought it was the
It's
Angela
our show. It's not
show.
my show. It's everybody's
No,
show.
I've been doing this for 60 years.
I
did it
come
when
up
I
with
was
60
13.
years. I did it when I was 4 years old.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Caramba. Yeah. So I'm 67. I was about 60 years. I've been playing.
Yeah, I started at 13 with
David
Danny and the
Barkley.
Dreamers, and then I don't remember the order that it went into, but yeah, 1963. I'll be 74 in November.
Oh my God!
So
I'm
we're-
telling you, I'm
Yeah.
paying my dues here.
Did I hear you say you started
At 4 years of age.
at 4 years old?
Well, I was in the second grade, so I couldn't have been. It would have been 7 years at minimum.
He was in
Oh,
the
Eight, seven,
my,
eight,
my.
he
seven,
was
eight.
in the circus.
Yeah.
At 4 years old.
Well, no wonder you look so old. Yeah, music will do that to you. Let me tell you.
I was a freaking elephant in the circus. Yes.
I was
Danny,
the
thank
donkey.
you.
I'm not going to
Danny
touch
was-
that
I
one.
know. Don't say that.
I will. Well, I was going to go there, but I won't. Danny's just an funny guy.
Hey, and it's early in the morning.
funny guy.
I'm high on Metrical. What is it?
Metamucil.
Metamucil. Yeah, boy. I had a rough night last night, but came out running this morning.
Oh
You
my
know,
God.
some things
I hope
are
you
left
guys
better
are listening to
unsaid.
this. And so the other day, you went and saw. Well, first off, you're with. No, I'm going to go with the other day.
All right.
The horn guys. The horny guys.
Oh, yeah, I
All
was
those guys. What are-
downtown.
San Antonio Horns. Is
Oh,
that what
my
they're called?
God, what a show. You know, I caught this
They got some
show
great video.
downtown at the convention center, and
Let 'em have
these
it.
guys made me feel like I was 18 years old again.
Oh man.
This was the most entertaining show I've seen in years and
But
years
nothing
and
but
years.
saxes, or did they?
Well, they had
was
a
it
full
all-
band, of
was it all
course, and
sax?
there was 3 saxophones, all local cats, wonderful players. Jack Barber, my buddy, was on bass. I'll
Oh,
shout out
Jack,
to
yeah.
him.
He doesn't even know the show exists, yet he's been
Of course,
on
Augie was headlining.
it. Augie's been on the show.
Oh, my Bones on drums. How much better
I'd
could
love
you
to have
get?
Bones,
You know.
man.
Bones.
Yeah.
And Mike from La 45 was playing guitar. So the band was killer, but they had these 3 local saxophone players. Now I know Tony. Tony Rivas was involved with this thing. He was
Okay,
one of the
is
cats.
that Henry Rivas' brother?
That is. He's one of the Rivas
One of
brothers.
the Rivas
one of the,
are there,
origi-
3 of
one
them,
of the
right?
original Danny and the Dreamers also.
Guy out there.
Oh
Tony.
my,
Hey,
yeah,
and,
that's good to know.
Speaking of
Yeah.
Danny and the Dreamers,
He's right
check
there,
this out.
Tony.
Dan brought this in today, and this is a re-release of Danny and the Dreamers. We're going to cut to this real quick. That's a great segue.
Oh yeah.
Danny and the Dreamers. Danny, who was in this group? You got to look at it.
Well, we had Pete,
Don't
Pete,
you
Pete
remember?
Garza, who passed away. He was with the
rest
Latin Breed.
So,
Tony Rivas was trumpet. Jimmy Trevino was on vocals. Fidel Perez,
why are you so
saxophone.
nervous?
Oh, I'm always like that. Ricky,
too.
I have to go wee-wee.
Me too.
No, Ricky Hernandez, Neto Gutierrez, and myself. And I can't remember his name. He lives in California now.
Oh,
But yeah, that was the
that
original.
must be Mickey Mouse. Remember
That wasn't
first,
the original Danny Dreamers, though.
By the way, 10 years after is you and I, because we started off at the Cove. 10 years after on this very show when we were on radio, Now we have audio and video to encapsulate this talk forevermore. How about that?
Yeah. Well,
Oh my.
Not a bad thing.
You got 100 years of talent
Of
right
music
here.
here?
between-
Of musical
and then
career.
maybe
It's over, sure.
Over 100 years.
With
Now,
me-
I didn't need you to make me feel any older, let me tell you.
With me, that would be
You look
150
younger,
at minimum. 150 at minimum with me added on.
Right. Wow.
There you
Yeah.
go.
That's a
We're
lot.
going way over. I remember playing at the dances at Holy Cross and
Oh, I used to go to all those
oh,
dances.
we-
Oh
we
my.
played
St. Anne's.
St.
Oh,
Anne's.
St. Anne's had a great little thing. Remember that
I'm
little
gonna tell you
theater
right now.
that was
Right
there?
now, they have the musicians. I'm really sad for musicians now because they put us
I'm
outside.
sad for me.
They put us. Well, they put us outside. They
I'm
put
a
us
musician.
outside nowadays. You know,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not like in the old
Most
days.
venues, you're
No,
right.
They
You're
were
playing
nightclubs
outside.
back then.
Yeah.
We don't have nightclubs
Mhm.
anymore. They're
We had a
bars,
stage.
or you know, and they're open. And I see these guys. I mean,
Sweating.
and I'm going. That's not respecting us anymore.
No,
man.
not at all.
We deserve more than that, man. Because
Get a
we
stage,
entertain.
y'all.
We bring the people in. Not that, you know, they come to see you, Emmett. They come to see all the people that are out there. We got a lot of great musicians that are still out there. Also, I want to remember Bobby Fraga from the Royal Jesters.
I remember Bobby well.
He
Yeah,
passed
that's
away.
right.
He passed away a few
Ernie
weeks ago.
Garibay, who was on the show with us.
Ernie, all
you
those
know,
guys, man.
And he was talking about how cats don't sleep, and I said, you were saying, well, who is he anyway? And I said, well, he hadn't slept in years, so you don't even know. He looks
know,
different.
One short story about Ernie.
Sure.
I was on stage, and Ernie was
Listen to
out in
that
the
voice.
audience, and we asked him to come up and sing.
Uh-oh.
So he got up and sang a couple of songs, and when he got through, I walked over to him and hugged him. I said, "Man, I have always wanted to be on stage with you and play bass
Wow.
with you." And he turned to me and
Well,
looked,
that's
and he
how it
said,
happens.
"Man, always wanted to have a bass player so I could sing just up front." So we got a big kick out of that. He was a cool dude. Yes, he was.
Hey, Dan, I got to ask you something real quick. Where exactly did you grow up? The area?
And on Monterrey Street, on the west side,
Monterrey,
right
west
close to
side
the
of-
malt house.
I'm telling you, I was on Colima and Zarzamora. I thought I saw you walking down by the HEB.
Man, I used to run through that
Yeah.
area all the time. Man,
Well,
I
you
wouldn't
couldn't
walk through
really
that
walk.
area.
No,
no.
that was a good time.
After
of the,
3 p.m., man, it was trouble.
I could
It
name
was
some of the
happy hour.
games, but yeah, we
pick
lived
you
close
up.
to the malt house and Paul Marie's. Those were all the memories back there.
Remember
And
the strawberry
VFW on Martin.
Hamburger, fries.
Oh yeah. Now
Yeah.
Now I don't know if it'd be worth it.
those were the days. Those were the old days.
DAZE, right? Days.
Boy, was I. Let me tell you.
It was trouble, and my dad took us away from it. So we're just so grateful that we.
My dad would let me out of the cage every so often and say, "Go play some
I
music."
got hit
and-
by a car right there at Colima and Zarzamora. Maybe that's why my back is all messed up.
That was you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hit the side of a building, I think.
Oh,
and
my.
Blam, and I bounced off, and I got right back
He's
up.
still
It was
half
crazy.
blind.
I was just a little kid. I didn't even cry. Because, back in the day, if you cried, man, you were weak.
Yeah, that's
Now
true.
I cry every day.
My parents used to spank me so much, and I would never cry, and they'd keep hitting me, wanting me to cry.
Oh, with the
but-
belt, right?
Yeah, but
with a piece of
honestly, I
stick.
think it made me a better person.
Well, sure, listen to you.
And the welts are finally going away, so
The welts. Oh, there's always,
I'm not gonna say
king of the one-liners is what we've got coming on in just a short while. But I want to get to most memorable silly moments, of which we have coined on this show, guys. So we've done a good intro there thus far. But what might be your most memorable silly moment? And just think about something that may have happened at a gig, outside of a gig, on the way to a gig, but something related as it works for this talk show. Hey, by the way, speaking of this talk show, Walfredo Reyes, man, the original drummer for the now present-day Chicago, wants on. He's a dear friend of mine on Facebook. Shout out to you, Walfredo. Thank you for having the cojones to want to come on the show. We're going to have him on TV.
Ah,
And
that's
Caleb's
gonna be
gonna work
fun.
that groove. It's going to be good, and it's going to open up the door for international artists, kind of like Dan,
I'm retired.
I
I'm sort of retired now. I like playing the nursing
thought I read
homes.
retarded.
Well, a little of both. But I like to play for the retirement homes because the people there, they remember the music, and they are so appreciative. Nowadays, and I hate to say this because I've been a musician for 60 years, now they put the musician outside in the heat, and it's rough for the musicians now. They don't give us the bandstands that we used to have when we were younger.
We're already
Remember, Emmett?
wetbacks.
You know,
We're already wetbacks, Dan.
I
Already.
guess, you know.
Already.
You
I
don't
used to
need
freak
prove
out
it.
people on the road when they would see me and they say, because I was one of the first Hispanic bands that went to all the hotels, and when we could get there, they would say, "Who's Dan Michael?" And they would point to me, and they would call my manager right away. What did you send us here?
The wrong
and then
guy.
I would start singing country or something, and they just they would freak out.
Okay, so I'm gonna go first. Most memorable silly moment that I have happened to me yesterday while on the phone with Dan Michael. I call him, and I'm just trying to, fill in some groove. And he says, I'm headed over to Fox Tech. And I said, well, did you graduate from Fox Tech? And he says, I'm loading up the truck. I've got everything all set up. Everything is going. I said, now, did you graduate from Fox Tech? He's still, and I said, did your wife graduate from Fox Tech? And then he goes, honey, where'd you graduate from? I'm like, Jesus Christ, are you married to her, man? And so she says something in the background. I couldn't hear it. And then he says, well, if she didn't go to Fox Tech and you didn't go to Fox, well, then you're just going to go crash the Fox Tech gig. Why are you going to Fox Tech? Well, I'm playing there. Jesus Christ. He tells me he's freaking playing there at the end. I'm like, oh, man. So anyway, you got me, Dan. I didn't know you were going to go play. And how'd that gig go?
It went good. It was just like about 120 degrees outside.
Jeez.
I had
they pay you?
I had a bunch of fans out in the audience, and I had a bunch of fans around me.
Nah,
To keep me cool, because
that's the
Did they
way
end
to
up
do it.
paying you after all?
I mean, after 60 years, it's the alumni,
Okay.
and I like
So
doing
you
the
pay them?
Yeah, I pay them in a
Jeez,
way.
I hate that part.
And then for the retirement home, they really
Shout out to
appreciate it.
Edison High School, man.
Oh,
Shout
really?
out to my Edison Bears.
Yeah.
Come on, team. Go, go, go.
My wife was a teacher for God all her life.
My mom, Ocampo, was a teacher all
She
over
was a
her
teacher too.
life.
She taught at
Bless
Memorial.
these girls.
Well, I don't want to brag, but my mom taught me a lot of things. Let me tell
Really?
you that.
Yeah, but
she
with a
did.
stick.
Yeah. Well, I was hard-headed,
Yeah, so am I.
freaking-
but
we
I
were
was
talking
soft
about
somewhere
that.
else, and that's where she aimed for.
Yeah, most musicians are hard-headed. I'm sorry, but we are.
Stubborn.
Yeah, well,
Sure.
everybody has a direction
Yeah.
that they want to go, and I chose my direction a long time ago. Emmett showed his, and you showed yours.
Where am I going?
I don't think I've gotten
So
there
the
yet.
top of the
I
top of the
think what's
top.
happening with me with age, I'm starting to forget things I really don't care about anymore.
Who are you anyway?
I
already
forget. I'm one of God's children, I guess.
It happens to me, man. Hey, the other day, a maintenance man, think of your most memorable silly moments. Here's another one. The maintenance man comes over here, does something, and I called the next day, and I said, where's the maintenance man? They said, Ed, he was just there yesterday. He fixed everything. Talk about memory loss, yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, I think
That's
I've
why I
had
call
it.
my wife Babe.
Forgot her name a long time
I
ago,
stay
did
safe.
you?
I stay safe. I'm not.
Okay, somebody give me a most memorable silly moment. Who's going first?
Well, okay,
Emmett, my
look,
co-host.
it's not one moment, but I'm probably the only musician, possibly in the United States, that has left a piece of gear in every state he ever played in. So,
Talk about forgetful.
oh yeah, I've been that way a long time though, so it's not something recent.
Oh, man.
I'm going to say
You're
this.
retarded.
I'm going to get in trouble
Well.
I'm going to get in trouble for this, but there was a girl at every port. No.
There was a girl at every port.
Yeah, some got rusty, some didn't. I was like
Was she on the ship or the boat? We talked about that last
I
time.
did the cruise ship.
But there's a
never
difference
again.
between
I
a
will
boat
not.
and a ship.
I did the boats out of Corpus.
Oh, yeah.
Or out of and
That's a ship, Dan.
well, it was a 3.
I wouldn't get on a boat.
No, that was a boat
On
because
Corpus.
when the waves were out there, boy, you could see the water in your face. I mean, that's how far the boat tilted. Never again. My instruments trying to hold on to the equipment.
Oh, cut it out. That's
People
crazy.
throwing up.
So long as
In
they
the
didn't
same
do it
boat?
on your instruments, you
Oh,
were
was
all
it
right.
on the
Boat,
dance
that
floor?
doesn't give you much room.
I don't know, Dan. Did it have anything to do with the waves, or was it the music?
It
I mean,
was
I'm
probably
just saying.
It was a gambling ship too. So
Or was it a boat or a ship, Dan? Come on, get it right.
what's the difference between a boat and a ship?
Well,
You
no,
stay
Mexican won't get on a boat. He'll get on a ship. That's the difference.
up. And he can't even say it. Chip. I'm on the chip.
Chip. Which
I'm
way
gonna
to
be
the
in
chip?
trouble
Is
again
it
here.
H-E-B?
See, there goes Pancho Papas. He came out of me.
Hey, speaking of which, why don't you do your most memorable silly moment with Pancho Papas, por favor? This guy has an alter ego. Help me out
I
here.
got like 3 or 4.
Well,
I
know,
got a
but want-
female one too.
Let me have Panchito Papas. Hi, Tom. Well, you tell him. You tell him.
Pancho, I'm here with my friend, the bass player. What's your name again?
Me dicen Emmett.
Okay, me dicen, ¿cómo tocas el bass? Me dicen.
Well, con los dedos.
Oh, I thought that were your feet.
No, that's my brother.
Oh, your brother. I know,
Yeah.
1 foot. I know him. I know him.
His brother 1 foot, and
1
I'm
foot.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Bigger foot.
I got a brother, but I can't tell you his name.
Well,
He's in
please don't.
He's in prison right now.
He's probably there with mine.
Probably so. They're lovers.
They're probably more than that.
Jesus.
Now, let's get out of this one. I'm getting excited here.
He's getting in deep. Keep it going, man. I love that stuff.
No, I don't know
pretty
who's
great.
listening to us, but if you're listening to us,
The entire
you
nation.
have a serious problem.
Shout out to YouTube.
Thanks, thanks to Emmett
And
and
San
Dan.
Antonio musicians.
We're opening a
Archer Network.
restaurant.
Huh?
Dan and what was your name again?
Emmett?
Emmett.
Yeah, Dan and
Emmett M
He's half
Pastran.
Yeah, no,
He's half
yeah,
foot, I'm
it's
Bigfoot,
Italian food.
bigger foot.
Pastran. It's a,
He's Italian.
yeah, he is.
Oh yeah, well I've got some of that in me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you where it's in you, but
No,
wherever it is,
no,
congratulations.
Don't ask. I'd be too embarrassed to
Oh,
say.
God. I would hate to see it in you.
I
I
tell you.
just would.
Now we're talking about John
Yeah,
Holmes. Now
I
we're
think
talking
I got
about-
all the copies. So I don't think there's any more copies out there of the
now-
video. So
Now we're talking about John Holmes, okay?
no, you're talking about
He-
John
he-
Holmes.
he's dead, isn't he?
I hope
Jeez,
so.
I
No,
hope so too, man.
Well, I heard
don't
he
know.
died with a smile on his face, though.
And they had to bury him root
He
down.
was always smiling for a long, and I just said that, right? Long
Uh-huh.
time.
Long
They had to
time.
bury him root down, you know. I
I'm
don't
going to let Dan take over the show,
Hey,
man. I
I'm-
think it's good.
and it's Sunday today. I should be talking nicer.
That's right. It is Sunday.
Well, it is
Did
Sunday.
you
Oh,
make it to church this
happy
morning, Dan?
Memorial Day, guys.
Brother, we played yesterday in the afternoon, and it was so hot
Ignore
that
me.
we could barely get up this morning. But we do. I'm a Presbyterian, and
All right,
proud to
all
be
right.
one. You know, yeah. Yeah, we gotta. I quit drinking like you,
Well, yeah.
and we're gonna go have some Kool-Aid right now.
Now, Danny, don't ask me if I went to church. Please don't do that.
No, I did.
I
didn't.
appreciate that.
I know
I
you.
woke
I
up
saw you at
praying.
churches, but I didn't. see
Yeah, well, you beat me to it, brother.
Jesus Christ. Really?
Man, these bass players all think alike.
Yeah, and he's a keyboardist.
Look at my fingers.
Uh-huh.
Look at my fingers
He's a
when playing
keyboard
bass.
player.
Yes, sir.
Emmett, did you already give a most memorable silly moment? You said something, but I'm already
Well,
lost.
you know, I really hadn't had that many silly moments. Well, it could be that time that somebody didn't like the way I was playing, and they threw a bottle of Coke at me. But I was fast. I was a lot younger in those days. It didn't hit me, but it did
Oh
knock
God,
my
that
amp
is
head.
Funny. That is funny, man.
No.
If they miss, it's
They
on
missed,
them.
but they hit my amplifier, knocked the head off of the cabinet. Yeah, they did. But gear
Must
was
have been
tough in those days.
Was it a liter? Did they throw a whole liter?
They threw a whole bottle. It must have
something
been empty because nobody in their right mind would throw a full bottle at anybody. That's for sure. I wouldn't.
We don't.
I'd have drank it.
We
Well, how'd
play
it
for
knock the head
people.
off?
But knocked the head off the cabinet, hit the floor. I didn't even know it had happened because I was ducking, and I was ducking, you know. And I kept playing, and I kept playing. I looked back, and the head of the head is on the floor. The speaker cabinet just kept on pumping. Boy, they made good gear in those days.
Yeah.
Yes, they
well,
did.
you know, PB will last forever. That's why I'm stocked up. You know, with PB. It's because you turn them on and they don't turn off until you cut them.
There you go.
You know,
I use a small Bose speaker.
little Bose.
Yeah, and that, I can't carry a big equipment anymore, man.
Oh man, they told me to downsize. Look what
Yeah,
I
I just
did.
use a Bose, a mic, and that's it.
Well, you
I had
know,
to have 'em delivered.
I don't think anybody our age, and I'm not going to say what our age is, but I don't think anybody our age
85.
is using any heavy duty gear like that
42.
these
No,
days.
no,
But-
you don't need to with the modernization of equipment now.
Hey, shout out to the Dallas Cowboys who haven't won yet, but we haven't lost face. So come on, guys, let's get something done here.
I'll always be a fan.
Always, man. How
I don't
could we
care what
not? If
happens.
we say we're not, we're
More
gonna
of
get
an
it.
air conditioner.
Well, I'll be a fan for life.
No, I don't know. Everything's changed now. As you get to a certain age, things that seem so important back then don't seem so important now. You know, we've lost a lot of
Really?
great brothers, musicians. A lot of them, Bobby
Oh
Fraga.
no. Let's
And-
get serious. For
Yeah,
sure.
a little serious. Bobby Fraga and
Marco Villarreal.
we've lost a
He
lot.
was a great cat,
We lost
Marco.
us.
I-
Oh
We
yeah,
lost
a bunch of guys that deserve credit. Oscar Lawson, when I played with the Royal Jesters, we had that song "That Girl" and "Sing a Song for Peace." And Bobby Fraga was the guy that I went from guitar from bass to from guitar to bass. I had 2 weeks to learn how to play bass to get into the Royal Jesters. So
Wow.
Bobby and I lived together for 2 weeks. My fingers were bleeding. We were just we practiced and thank God because I wouldn't have been on That Girl or Sing a Song for Peace, the national hits that we had.
So, did you say you went from bass to guitar or from guitar to
I
bass?
went from guitar with Danny and the Dreamers,
Uh-huh.
and then Bobby taught me how to play the bass.
Well, that's funny you should say that because the first band I was ever in, I was a guitar player
too. Yeah, I guess.
And I played like, 5 or 10 minutes, and they said, wait a minute. Here, put this thing on. They gave me a bass.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Best stick to-
So that
stick
tells
to
you how
four
well I
string.
played
Back then it was
guitar.
all rotations, 4 chords,
Uh-huh.
or 3 for fast and 4 for slow. It was all, you could do the. I
This is
do
so
a whole
true. And then
20-minute
a chorus,
medley.
A chorus with 2 chords.
Everything, was basically. It was so simple. Now, when the Beatles came out, then the chords started to change for every word.
It was 4-chord
Every
progression.
word.
and
These
then-
guys were coming
yeah.
out with chords. We were going, what?
There was 4-chord progression for the song and like 3-chord progression for the chorus.
Yeah, back
There
then we
you
just
go.
did
There were like 2
rotations.
songs
and sang
in
every
one,
song.
man. You got a bingo on that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back at
All
the
the
history,
Mexicans, bingo.
it started to come up because back then it was all a 4-chord Sea of Love and all
F
those.
rotation.
Yeah, F rotation. Everybody would come up and just sing for a half an hour, F rotation. And then the Beatles came out and started putting chords to every word. And they just modernized the whole.
The other day I really was at. I went to go buy some chords over at Goodwill, and they had Herman's Hermits on the PA system, and all these older people were like, they were like grooving, man. They were grooving. I was like, geez, I got to come here more often.
My first guitar was a silver tone, and the
The
cover
black
was
one?
the amplifier.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, you'd open
yeah.
it, stand up the case.
The case
Yeah,
for
plug
you.
it right
you
into
open
the
it up and it
case.
has an 8-inch.
Yeah,
I think
that was-
everybody had one
That's
of
what
those.
Bob
Yeah, we
Ocampo, my
opened for the
brother started
Rolling
with.
Stones at Joe Freeman Coliseum.
Yeah, he opened up for the
Yeah,
Rolling Stones.
we didn't know who
guys
they
in
were.
1964, right
The
here.
Beatles had come out, and we were going to
did you
do
hear
the Battle
this?
of the Bands at Joe Freeman Coliseum.
When did you hear this?
And we got 64, 65, because we won our competition. That we were just 2 guitars and a bass and a drum, Danny and the Dreamers. And they said, tonight, since you won the division here, and we want you to open up for the band tonight. And we said, well, who are they? They said, the Rolling Stones.
Of course, nobody knew him then.
No, they were doing Boll Weevil songs. Boll
Yeah.
Weevil, Boll Weevil.
They were doing all copies of it.
And they came on, and we had no idea who they were. We just saw them. And, okay.
Well, what did the people do? This is the funny part.
They clapped, but it wasn't like the Beatles because they weren't really known that time.
But
at that
from
time.
what I understand, they actually booed them off the stage.
Yeah, they had a rough time because we didn't know who they were. They were, like I said, they were doing Boll Weevil songs. They weren't doing I Can't Get No Satisfaction.
Right. Well, they hadn't written that stuff yet.
weren't
Yeah,
there
they
yet,
started
huh?
writing after that.
They hadn't done enough drugs.
And I've
That's
opened
the
for
thing about it,
Billy
yeah.
Joe Royal when they did the Toys for Tots, and at the Municipal Auditorium.
Oh,
Remember all
yeah,
those?
good
And
times.
We opened for. I got to open for Tom Jones. Well, not open for him. I got to meet him at the hotel, and I got to go up to his room, and we did Fall in Love. I'm never gonna. We did all those songs, and Wayne Newton. At the Conoco buildings,
you open for Wayne Newton too?
He owned the Conoco buildings.
Did you open up for Wayne Newton
Yeah,
too?
in Corpus.
Let me ask you this: did you open up all the way?
Well, I wasn't a
I'm
I
sorry.
wasn't a virgin at the
Oh,
time,
my
but if
God.
that's what you're trying to say.
But I don't know. I'm not sure if I like the direction of this taking or whether I.
Come on, let's
No,
go.
I think I do
Danny
like the
opened up-
direction.
yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't had a drink. Let's go have a drink.
Yeah, let's go have a
This
drink
guy-
now. We're all right.
No, I'm afraid to drink nowadays.
No, I couldn't
might
do that.
fall.
I think if I had
I'd fall
a drink,
anyway.
I wouldn't be home for 3 days, and
No.
then
Oh.
you guys would be really sorry when they came looking for me.
No, you come over
No,
here. That's the
no,
thing. You come over here.
It's funny because I've played for a lot of people, different types of people, black people, Hispanic people, white people, and I've learned to adapt. You become a caterpillar in a way. You learn to adapt and come out for the moment. A lot of band members now are strictly country, strictly. Now San Antonio, and I'm going to get in trouble for this.
I know. I can
But
feel
San
that coming.
Antonio is not. Like when we used to play at the downtown, remember outside, it was all top 40. Now it's all Hispanic, and
Well,
all
we were
everybody,
talking
a bunch
about
of
that.
Selenas out there. Be yourself. Copying
you.
is easy, but being original is really hard, apparently, to some people.
Well, this is original, Dan.
Yeah, I know it is. You know, I mean, Emmett's original. I'm
We all
but,
are
it-
original,
but-
and
and
that's
I
what
hate
the
to say
show's
it,
all
but
about.
it's all the oldies are being forgotten, and now it's all.
Well, we're all here.
It's all Tejano. I'm sorry. If you look on
The
at the
oldies, we're
Market
all
Square
here.
now, it was all
Everyone,
Tejano.
You know,
welcome Dan Michaels.
I can remember back in
wife,
the
she's out here
mid
as well.
60s,
Very
late
quiet lady.
60s, working with a group down at Frisky Go-Go. Everybody remembers that place. But I worked with a
How
group
about
called the
Pussycat
Ebony
Club?
Review.
How about the Pussycat
So,
Club?
the Pussycat
Saw
was a
the
great
Eagles
club
out
too.
there. They were called Blue Mountain Eagles back in the day. They were
Blue
Joe
Mountain.
Walsh. Everybody was
Blue
there.
Mountain.
But yeah, they were called Blue Mountain Eagle. What was that, Dan?
I was making a gesture.
Go
They
ahead.
were- Emmett's looking
A
at me like.
gesture? Did you say gesture?
Yeah, yeah.
A gesture.
I was a
gesture.
I
gesture.
thought you said gesture. Royal gesture. Get it?
But
Oh,
you're
bri-
getting
bri-
old
bri-
now. You can't hear.
Can't hear a damn thing. We didn't even have monitors on this show.
I don't think we need them.
Emmett's
Like you say,
looking-
we can't hear anyway. So, yeah.
Emmett's looking
Just
at me.
talk-
All
Yeah.
those years on stage.
I have a callus on my ass from all those years on stage. And
On
you
the
too,
road?
probably. Oh God, I met all kinds of people from.
I'm not showing it.
And I hate this. I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to get in trouble again. But hell, I'm too old. I don't care. But
What can they do to you,
what
Dan?
happened
You're over here.
to Selena's brother?
Oh my God.
And I tell people, if you don't like my music,
think we
there's the door.
Mm-hmm.
It's that easy. You don't have to stay here and worry anymore. There's the door, and you can be happy, and I can be happy. But they still stay and say, I don't like that song. And I said, I didn't like the girl you brought, but what can I do? I mean,
Put
I got
it
in
back
trouble
on
a
the
lot.
other guy.
I'll bet
Put
you
it
did.
back on
I'll
the
bet
other
you
guy.
I get in trouble. But
I'm going to get in trouble for this too, but I'm going to have to, weigh in on this one. The guy's had it rough, man, all right? He lost his sister in the most hideous of freaking way. I don't know. If somebody's going to start egging me, I might have just walked off. I might have just I might have thrown the dadgum bass and just walked the heck off. But, he did what he did. I'm not saying that he did right. So stop it, guys.
Yeah.
But don't be jumping all up in his stuff.
I mean,
Just
that's what
let
we
it
do
be,
for a living,
man.
man.
Don't tell me you guys didn't screw up at some point in time, huh?
We
Come
all
on,
have,
man.
that's for
we
sure.
all screwed up.
And the
he
thing-
just happened to do it. But look, he's so public with Selena.
And he drove all the way
Cállate,
from
hombre.
Las Vegas. You know how fatigued you are when you have to drive and then get on stage?
Oh my God! And then get on a crowd like.
And then a crowd that can do that. I mean,
Oh,
I
my Lord.
love crowds, and I love pleasing them. But like the Ricky Nelson said, you can't please everyone, so
Oh,
you've
yeah.
got
So
to
you gotta
please
please
yourself.
You got to please yourself.
You know?
And I don't think he was trying to do that. I think he was just kind of fed up with everybody.
Tired
And also they see him.
expect a lot
They
from
see
him.
him as I think part of the movie.
Yeah,
he
that's-
wasn't part of the movie. He was a casualty. He had a casualty in that movie, Selena. He wasn't Selena. He didn't die. He went through some real bad emotion.
Yeah,
Can you imagine the manager doing that?
Yeah.
Or there's no girlfriend here, buddy boy. This is some bad stuff.
When you've been in the business for as long as Emmett and I have been, we've seen about everything.
I'm sure.
I have seen a lot. Some I can't talk about.
Yeah.
Well, we've often said that. Marius Perron, I told him, the most memorable silly moments, he said, I can't think of one that I can say. Because they're all filthy.
Even with the Jesters, we played in court in Austin one time. And
We played in court.
No, in Austin, and this
High
guy
up
comes.
the county
we
jail?
had that girl. We had the big hiss, and everybody was loving us, but there was one guy, and I caught him in the restroom when I was there, and he says, "I don't know what's with you guys. I don't really like you guys, man." And I told him, I said, if when I don't like somebody, I leave. I said, I don't
You're
stay
back to
around
your
and
point.
suffer. I said, I leave. I said, there's the
Back
door,
to your
brother. I
point.
said, nobody's holding you here. And he just looked at me like, and you know what?
He left.
I swear to this. After that, he became one of our biggest fans.
Oh my! Well, that's all it took then.
I know
guess,
certain
have you ever
people
had
like that.
Where
Yeah.
somebody, and then you tell them something, and then they become, all of a sudden, it's like they made a complete turn.
Sure.
And he started following us everywhere in Austin, and I was like, what a, I've seen it all now.
Wow.
Well, music and things in the music industry have changed tremendously. I remember when Augie first had that big hit of his, "Hey Baby, ¿Qué pasó?" It was hot and it was happening.
Uh-huh.
Well, I happened to be living in San Angelo at the time, and
That's
I was
hotter.
there at a club where a San Anto band was playing, and they broke into that "Hey baby, ¿qué pasó?" Now keep this in mind. That was 40 some odd years ago. San Angelo is not the place it is today. Back then, there was tremendous prejudice, but everywhere in the country, not just there.
But
So
he's
when
a
they
white
started
guy
off
doing
with a
this
polka
group. Yeah.
in this country place, dance hall, people started throwing things at them, started booing them, and they had to quit playing and duck all these
I've
things
experienced
that were
that.
being thrown.
I've
I
experienced
witnessed that. I witnessed that.
It's
So.
a
But things have changed tremendously. And now Augie, of course, is loved everywhere in the world. So we've
Yeah,
come a long way as human beings.
And you know, we got to do this because I said it a moment ago. I didn't know if y'all heard it, but it's Memorial Day tomorrow. Shout out to all the veterans, those that have lost their lives, those that have served, those that continue to serve, and those that suffer
I give a shout out
even
to
more so.
my dad who died of Agent Orange. He went to Vietnam when he died at
I think
59
my
years
dad
old.
had something like
59
that.
years old.
Yes,
and
sir.
my youngest son, our youngest son, is a major in the Air Force. He's going to be going to where? He'll be going to Saudi Arabia in the next month. He'll be going.
That's
down
not good.
there. No, well, they have an area out there in Saudi Arabia that's guarded with a fence, and it's guarded with the troops.
I
And
need a
it's-
bunker, man.
it's
I don't
only
know about
for-
the fence.
well,
I wouldn't go for the fence.
He's going, and I'm very proud of him.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
You know, so you
Well,
know,
now that you
joke.
mentioned that, Dan, let me give a shout out to all of my family that
This
served in the
is
military.
where we go into the shout out, my friend. This guy obviously has heard the show. We're going into shout outs right now. Anybody that you love would like to give a shout out to, clubs, anybody. Hit
All
it.
my
Hit it,
family,
yeah, all the family,
all my uncles served.
Right in there.
also
and-
to the servicemen, and also to our police officers.
In
here.
1970,
Yeah.
I was drafted into the Army. And my dad had freshly come home from Vietnam. He was there in 66 and 67.
Oh, that's the worst
And he came,
years.
yeah, that was a bad time. And he came home with a completely different attitude about our government and what was going on in the world.
I didn't even go
Before
and I had
then,
that attitude.
My father was an extremely nationalistic man. He was pro anything, the United States, and wore his uniform proudly. Always starched, always looked fabulous. When he came back from Vietnam, he was a different man. And when I got drafted in 1970, my father told me this. He said, "Son," said, "I don't want you to go to Vietnam." Said, "I'd rather send you to Canada with all those hippies."
Dad, gum. That's a
said,
good idea.
But I wanted to do my duty. All my family had been in the service and
Yeah.
had gone and served, and I went and took the examination, and they gave us our physicals, and I want to say to this day, thank you, Jesus, that they didn't take me. They were
Well,
trapped
praise
me into
God.
the Army, and I was flat-footed, so I couldn't march.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
So
Absolutely.
thank you. My father was so happy. I love you, Dad, and I'm proud of all the things
Oh, yeah.
you did.
My dad,
All the dads.
just quickly, shout out to my family as well, all the Ocampo family, but Jose Macario Ocampo, the story goes like this. He was drafted. He was going to go. He's like 6 foot something, right? He was a big target, man. They would have gotten him for sure. And then I was born. They called him. They said, "You've had your third child. You don't go." I saved his life. I was born at Fort Sam Houston. I'm guilty by association, y'all.
I was born at Fort Sam.
Yeah, no way.
Well, so was
Really?
I. Yeah.
I thought I heard you guys in the other room.
I was-
Puros
that
llorones.
y'all?
I was crying, but I was still putting the other babies down.
Picking and a poking
Yeah, we
and
were
a
born at Fort Sam. I'll
poking.
be damned.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
That's not right.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, it's, my son Edward Ocampo, my police officer brother Jose Juan Ocampo. We salute, the blue. We always
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
We
yeah.
always have. They don't salute me, but I salute them.
I was no, I better not say it.
Please don't.
He was
I
high
know
on
it was
top of
coming.
county
Well,
jail,
that
I'm
smile on
telling
my
you.
face, right?
So yeah, but your shout out, Dan, would be to. Did you already say?
Yeah, well, to my dad and my brother Lupito, who also was in the service, and my son's in the service, and
Oh, he did say.
our daughter. Our
How about your
daughter-in-law. Our
wife?
daughter-in-law was in
How
the
about your
service.
wife? She's right here in front of you, man.
Yeah.
Don't go out like that.
That's why I'm
man.
shaking. No, but our
He's been
daughter-in-law,
shaking all
the major, or the son of the major, he married a girl that retired from the service. So they're Navy. She was in the Navy. I tried the Boy Scouts, but I enjoyed the Girl Scouts more.
I was waiting for something to happen.
I
man.
knew
there
that was
it is.
coming.
This is Dan Michael.
I knew
y'all.
that was coming.
You know, I try to
to
be serious. Sometimes I really try, and I make myself laugh, and the hell with it. My wife gets irritated because she'll try to come up with something, and I'll come up with a joke, and ya me conoce. Yeah, she just, you know, I know the finger very well. I know her finger very well.
She's over there going like, boring. I know that joke.
And she's got a great finger.
Well, nobody expects any seriousness
I
out
hate
of
to
me.
know where
So.
that went.
You know, life is too serious. Everybody gets up.
Thank you.
They're angry.
Thank you.
There's
Thank
violence on. I don't even like to watch
Yes.
violence on TV anymore.
Thus, the
you know.
talk show, guys. This is the first show in the history of the United States, which is an all musicians
Yeah.
I call it a comedy talk show, but it's a comedic talk show.
You know,
You know, it's us.
we
it's
see
our
things different. I
spirits.
think, right?
Well, I'm certainly glad to be here. That's for sure.
It's
You
the
guys
spirit
are
of the
funny looking.
musician
Too
that
bad when it's
lives.
not being televised.
You know, we could die tomorrow and we're still going to be on air.
Yeah,
saying,
and
man,
boy, do I
this is-
pass a lot of air nowadays. No, but-
you said you passed dust.
Yeah, I'm so old, I'm farting dust. You know,
That's old.
I have,
don't know if
I have
y'all
another
caught
one,
that.
but can I say it on this one?
Sure.
Okay,
damn
my
straight.
dreams are dry and my farts are wet. You know you're getting old.
When what?
Your dreams are dry and your farts are wet. You know you're getting old. And now somebody in the audience is going, "Damn, I didn't know that."
Yeah, well, I guess I've been old for a while.
Yeah, tell me about it.
My God.
No, I have to. My legs are gone. That's why I didn't get in the service. I had bad knees, and they didn't take me. And now I had 4 back surgeries for carrying all the instruments that we used to carry. Remember the Leslie
No way.
Oh, yeah.
Did you really have 4 back surgeries?
Yes, I did. Honestly, you can see my back. I have.
Oh yeah, I see that.
And
There's a great big old hole there where
my
the
whole
neck
back
should
is
be.
metal. I have 2 rods in my back.
Man,
I have a metal in my back.
I'm surprised you don't make everything feedback right now.
No, not now. But when I went to the post office the other day, and my wife is screaming, "He's got metal in the back."
It's not a gun. It's not a
Oh,
gun.
He's
God,
all
you
metal.
can't even go to the courthouse,
so
man.
part
You
of
gotta
my-
stay out of trouble.
Yeah, so
Glad
and,
you stopped
know,
drinking.
So I don't want to use a wheelchair, so I still walk with a cane. But
I have to ask you then. Do you feel like the Bionic Man, or you just like the Bionic Man?
I like him a lot.
Oh.
No.
Well, I'm glad we got that
Let's not
straight.
go there. No, but no. I feel like a metal man.
A metal
Not
man.
bionic, because I
I
can't
know.
do
I know a
things.
couple.
Oh man, I
Andy
you know,
Garza.
I was thinking of going into metal music,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't make any sense.
Emilio Garza.
No, but
Metal man.
and I have a wonderful wife. She takes care of me, really.
Metal
really,
women.
and I have
Lacey.
noth-
Love.
she- oh, I mean, she
In
takes.
between.
Sometimes I wonder why she stays with me, but
Everybody
I wonder.
needs a
I
good
wonder why
partner.
she stays with you too.
Yeah.
And I don't even know her.
yeah.
But I know you.
Now we're really wondering after
Then we
after
know
this
you,
interview.
I'm
now
just
we're going
curious.
off track here again.
She's over here acting like she's not listening to us.
She's doing very good at that because she doesn't
Did
listen
you,
to
did
me.
you get enough film, dear? Did you get enough film? Well, make sure you get the outro because we're going to do the same thing.
And also,
again.
if people want to contact you, I have CDs that I have recorded over 10 CDs at my home by myself.
All right.
Well, I've had
We need all the chump change we can
I've
get,
had,
man.
I had Pete Ojeda. I've had Al Gomez.
Al, shout out to Al, my Edison brother.
I've had Richard Macias come and do guitar parts, and but I do all the music myself. You know, but through the years, now I'm a keyboard player. I'm not a bass or guitar player. Now I play keyboards because of my fingers.
Sure.
And
Why? Because you have them to play keyboard? Or what are
thank
you
God.
talking about?
You-
One chord at a time, or
You
what?
never heard of one Freddie Fender? One finger Fender? Yeah, no. But
Well, listen, I can attest to
it
those
works.
CDs that Dan has put out because I've done a lot of dancing to his CDs. Every time one came out that he
Yeah,
put out,
Emmett's been
I
great.
was real excited to get it, and I'd go over and I'd talk him into giving me one. I don't think I ever paid you for any of
No,
those.
no.
And
So,
so don't
I
bring
mean,
it
you brought
up.
a whole bunch of
But
CDs.
I'd bring those things home and pop them in there,
he
and
does it.
man, we would dance all afternoon, me and my wife at the time.
I have a Spanish cumbia called Tengo un ratón en mi pantalón. It's
That
a
means-
rap song.
That,
Tengo
mean,
un
yeah, that
ratón en mi
means
pantalón.
I have
Tiene
a
mucho
big
pelo
rat
y
in
está
my
bien pelón.
pants. He just said, I have a big rat in my pants.
Yes, it's
Tengo ratón
en mi pantalón.
en mi, I would say en mi calzón.
Well, in mi pantalón.
Same
I didn't want to
difference.
go dirty. You know. Calzón sounds.
Why not?
But,
Why the hell
yeah,
not?
it's a rap song.
It's a
Tengo
rap
ratón en
song.
mi pantalón, no tiene mucho pelo y está bien pelón. Le gusta comer chile y está bien panzón. Yo tengo ratón en mi pantalón.
We need
Well,
to
I
we
can
need-
see it out there, man. You know, you might have something
That'd be
now.
a great
Really bored
outro,
at
man.
home. I'm really bored at home. I'm there. Tengo ratón. I hope I can see Emmett's really laughing out here.
Well, I mean,
calm
a
down.
big
Emmett.
rat in his pants, guys. Come on, man. That's
Hey,
funny
it's a
already.
beautiful song.
It's a love song.
It's
Oh,
a
no,
love
no,
song
you
for
have a love
sure.
song.
I wrote another song called "I Took Her Bra and Left Her Flat."
That's king of the
I
one-liners.
think I've
here.
heard that.
We should go into. Do you have a one-liner for me today?
Well,
I mean, I don't know that you do, but we should ought to pick on
You know, I probably have lots of them, but you know, when you put me on a spot
I
like
know.
that, it's like,
My
That's
one-liner
the same
would
with
be,
sex. When you put me on the spot,
yeah,
forget
well.
it.
I wasn't
My
going to go
one-liner-
there, but now that you've started,
Yeah, my one-liner would be, if I had a band, I would call it Tony Baloney and the Cold Cuts. Why not?
Well,
that
that's a
makes
long
sense to
name.
me.
That's
Yeah.
kind of rhythmic. I
Of
don't
course,
know.
you'd make everybody hungry, but so long as you're playing in a restaurant, I think they'd appreciate it.
Danny and the
man.
diapers. I don't know. Emmett and the.
Emmett and the.
And the enemas.
Oh, there you
Possibly.
go. I like that.
Ciao.
E.
So the truth comes out. Huh?
At our age, speaking of enema, sounds good. No.
Hey, tell me a little bit about Texas Twister before you. I'm sure you want to say hi to the guys.
Well,
'Cause
I
this
do
is
want
a
to say hello
shout-out
to the
period.
guys.
And
Kenny
Burning
Huron,
Desire.
the leader of Texas Twister, Andres Salvador, Gonzalez on drums.
Hey.
These guys are killer players. They're a lot of fun to be around. So whenever you see the name Texas Twister, come on out, check it out. I'm sure you'll have a good time and enjoy it.
I dig
Now that I've said all that, I will have one complaint.
it. What's that?
I'd like to sing a little in that band. But other than that, everything is cool. I
Well,
love the
who's
gig.
the vocalist?
Kenny does all the lyrics.
Well,
So-
why don't they let you sing?
Well, I don't know. I'll have to ask him the next time I have. Well,
I'd
we
let
have
him have
Give
it.
Come to
Give me
Bed,
their
so-
phone number. I'll call her.
Oh, I didn't want you to do
Let
that.
Emmett sing. God
You
darn it.
said her. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Is it a her?
I don't know.
I'm gonna,
Don't look at
nowadays
me.
I can't
So
tell.
shout out to Kenny. And
Kenny.
Kenny,
It
thanks a
could
lot
be
for the
girl.
work. Don't believe anything I have to say on the radio.
You know what I get when I'm on the when I go perform?
Internet.
I'll start singing,
TV.
and I get the people come up. I've
Audio
even
and
had a
video.
person come up and take the mic away and say, "You're not singing," and I'll look at and I go, "Who is?" And they go, "Oh, I'm sorry." You know, because I get, you know, we've developed certain things that we've done through the years.
Oh, yeah.
that freak out people. And then he's got a low voice too, like I do. You know, they call me Barely White,
Barely.
not
white.
Barry White. They call me Barely White.
Goodness.
Mhm.
But your voice sounds perfectly white.
Well, then
Hey,
call me
come on.
Perfect Guy.
Yeah.
No, but Emmett's got a low voice too.
Oh, your yeah, what was that? The one that you were saying, let's see, 10 years ago, you were telling me about Bessie Me Cooler,
Oh,
the
yeah.
song, the love song.
Yeah.
Tell them about that. Guys, listen up.
I don't remember.
For crying out loud. He
That was
says-
Eddie Aleman,
No, you
and
were
we
telling-
wrote it called Bessie May Cooler.
You were saying that you wrote a song and it was called Bessie Me Cooler and it was a love song. It was about a woman that you met and something about La Calle.
La cagué.
Yeah, that this guy went off on a tangent. He doesn't even remember, man.
I'm
But he
getting
went
old.
off, man. And we're going to be selling those CDs, by the way, as well. So
I-
all of us got to make a little chump change. I don't know.
When I was with the Jesters, we had a crazy band. Henry Hernandez, Jack Martinez, and Ralph Cortez. Oh, Ralph!
you remember
shout out to
those.
Ralph Cortez. He's been sick. I heard on the Facebook that he's been ill.
Oh,
and,
Ralphie.
and he hasn't come out on Facebook. Him and the other bass player, what was his name? The bass player.
So many of them.
Well, there's one right here.
You're not talking about
No.
Joe, are you?
No, Joe gone. He's
Chente. You're not talking
no,
about
not Chente. Leo Guerrero.
Oh, certainly.
He's been ill. He's a bass player also, and so a lot of our musician friends at our age either are leaving us or getting out of the music business. You know, and
Well, we can always talk about it.
it's really sad. I mean, I've lost
But
so
I'm
many
pro-
friends, man. From and it's I wonder sometimes why I'm still here.
You
But
know-
like Emmett quit drinking.
You know, Dan, we've all lost a lot of
Yeah.
friends. In my case, it's probably because they got to know me. But, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but yeah,
They
we
walked
lost
out
so
on you
many.
after
so
they
many,
got to know you.
you know,
Mhm.
That sounds the story of my
from
life.
the Jesters, we lost Bobby and Jax lives in Dallas. Anthony Martinez lives out in the country. He doesn't want to. Some of them became hermits.
Hmm.
You know, after being so much in the limelight.
I see.
You know, they've retired, and I still do perform, but I do the nursing homes now, and they're happy as long as you don't do down songs. You
Well,
know?
the whole thing about the nursing home is it really doesn't matter if they're asleep or awake.
Yeah, and you know they move. I mean, they may be asleep, but you see their foot moving, or their head bobbing.
A lot of times you
My
just
mom's
can't
in the
tell.
nursing home.
Yeah,
I love her.
but not you know,
Mama Ocampo, I
and they're
love you,
so
baby.
grateful. They're so grateful. I cry after I perform because I feel so like I don't. I mean, I can't explain it. About 7 years ago, I had a
Well,
vision.
you're rewarded.
I had a vision, and like Emmett, I don't drink anymore. It's been 7 years for me.
You had a vision?
Yeah, how long has it been
That's
for you? Emmett?
psychosis.
Well, actually, it hadn't been that long. Couple of years.
But at least you stopped.
Yeah.
And I had a vision that told me what was important to me when I was younger is not so important anymore. Now I have to serve and give back. I took a lot. We took a lot when we were in
That
the
we
music
did.
business.
That we
took
did.
a lot and took.
Well,
Now,
maybe that's what I'm doing.
well,
I
now
don't
it's
even
time.
know it.
Now it's time to
But
give
it's
back.
true. It's true.
time
true,
to give
true.
back.
Well, I'm giving back to you guys. I don't know
Well,
about
yeah, and
anybody
that's
else.
good. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I give back now that I enjoy doing the nursing homes because they the smiles on their face. It's like God's telling me, good job.
The smile
Good
on
job,
your
you know,
face,
and I don't want to be
always
religious here
wanna
on the
take your
station,
place.
but
Mhm.
since I've gone that direction, things have been so much differently. With the quit drinking,
But
you
you've
know.
been doing this for 10 years now.
What's
you,
that,
you had
the- the nursing homes?
Yeah, the nursing homes, and also
a little
a
bit.
song for the children. I was reviewing the CD that we did 10 years ago. Some song for the children that you had written, and I
Yeah,
really
a
plugged
song.
it over there at
yeah, for the
Cove.
people that died.
Yeah.
Sandy
se llama?
Hook, the Sandy Hook. Yeah, I did a song
At the
for them.
elementary school, was that right?
Yeah, Sandy, for the young
Oh,
kids.
that's right. That's
and
right.
I even mentioned some of their names in the song.
Yeah.
You know, I did the song and I mentioned some names. As musicians, we need to give back to. We took a lot when we were musicians.
You know, this is what the show's all about, man.
You know,
to hear this
I've
kind
got
of stuff.
I've got
oh
a
my
couple
gosh.
of ex-wives out there that would agree with you. We took a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that's
we took
even
a
funnier.
lot.
No,
I don't know
We're funny,
how
but
it is
funny.
that
my wife
or-
is it took a lot too, and until I started doing the retirement homes. But that's because I had four back surgeries, so I'm limited now. And we have a 2-story home, and they tell us
You
why don't
stay
you get a 1-story
downstairs?
home? Well, no, she stays downstairs. I stay upstairs. That's how we get along. But the stairs
I
are
thought you had it backwards.
the stairs are good exercise. I tell people never give up. If you can walk, walk. You know what I mean? But do
Oh, hell no.
something. Do something. Just
Not
don't
me.
sit around. You know, do something because time waits for no man. You know, so we have to.
I thought time was on our side.
I wish it were, man. As you get older, it goes by faster. When you're young, you're like, I wish I was older, and then you get older, and go, oh damn, I'm old.
Oh yeah.
So enjoy what you got now.
Well, I never wanted to be older, but here I am.
Yeah.
So.
And you never
It
thought
happened.
we'd get this far.
No,
Do
I
you,
didn't.
you know, isn't it incredible? All of a sudden, we're seniors.
Mhm.
I mean, we're seniors. I mean, oh yeah, another silly moment. I started the show. I'm not really making any chump change or anything like that. But Social Security, Social Security sends me a letter and says, "You can
You're
now
old."
you can now officially not work. You have turned 65, and you don't work. And if you do work, this is what A, B, C, D. How much? Who? Where? How many live? You gotta que la fregada. No, this is a hobby, man.
Well, my wife does all the business for me. I don't do any. She handles the money.
Good.
She handles the business.
Out of sight.
You know, and and this
You're
way
out of it.
it takes all that out of me. I can entertain without having.
I've
to
got
worry.
Caleb.
You know,
I've got Caleb to work that.
but you know what?
He's
The
young enough.
nursing homes are so nice when they come up and they tell you, "Thank you for that song you did. It reminds me of my husband." And I cry. There's times when I'm singing and I have a tear coming down my eye.
Yeah.
Because it's gratifying. You know,
Yeah.
we've done
The
a lot of
reward.
I did strip bars, the Pussycat. Remember?
Oh, I've got some stories about strip bars.
So we have stories that would make
You're
people,
bringing it all back to me,
Yeah,
Daddy.
Yeah.
people would blush if they heard
and
some of the
just to
stories.
say, so that we can wrap this up, burning desire. Do you have any kind of burning desire? Anything you might want to have to say? Anything? It doesn't matter. Yeah, just
Burning love.
Well, I
Any-
do want to thank all the women in my life that
no way.
that I've had, yes, that have
all
been
that you've
supportive.
had?
I've loved before.
and all
Jeez.
all my wives
All
that
your
put up
wives?
with me.
How many?
And no, we're not going to get into how many. But
Let's put it this way: you have more fingers.
special shout out to Johnny Lee.
Yeah,
You're out there.
Johnny Lee, baby.
Absolutely, she put up with a lot. So thank you, Jesus. I am where I am, and I am who I am.
Oh, thank you,
Thank you.
Jesus.
Popeye.
I like that.
I
Popeye,
is what I is. Remember Popeye?
I am what I am.
And you know he doesn't age either. Hey, you know.
Popeye
Yeah, I
does-
looked like this when I was 13.
You're 13, so you haven't aged.
And Dan, do you have a burning desire? Anything, but you know, this is your last chance.
No, I just want to make people happy. I
Yeah.
have a beautiful wife who really went through all my back surgeries. She was there for me. She never left the hospital. She lived there with me.
Really?
And then
That's
not
old
too-
school, man.
Not too long
That
ago,
doesn't happen
she got sick,
Ah.
and she had to have surgery, and so now I'm taking care of her because she did take care of me, and now it's my turn, you know, to make sure that she's okay.
It's called tit for tat.
And
man.
I told her, I
you
said,
got to work
right
this
now,
thing
my
out, y'all.
priority is God first, my family second, my friends,
Órale.
and then my music. My music is not as important as it used to be.
I would have
It
to
was
agree.
very, very important to me at one time. That's all I wanted. And I realized 7 years ago when I lost a friend, and she kept coming to my dreams to go to her church, and I wasn't a churchgoer. And every night she would come to my dreams, go to my church, and I told Dora, you know what, let's go to her church. It was a 30-minute drive from my house. It's a Presbyterian church. It's like Andy of Mayberry. There's only one mass on Sunday. It's a female pastor.
And
it's-
everybody's there.
Everybody knows each other. Everybody. And we went there, and the people knew me because I would play for Patricia, and she would invite her friends, her dances. So
Yes.
when and then I played at the church for her when she died. And then when we went, everybody was looking at us, and they said, what are y'all doing here? And I said, well, Patricia won't leave me alone. Every night, go to my church. I said, so here I am.
Wow.
She said, well, we want to welcome you to this church, and we want to tell you that you're sitting where she used to sit.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
my goodness.
And we had
Yeah.
no idea.
Oh my gosh.
So we've been going there for the
No
last
way.
7 years now.
Oh man.
Well, that's true what
Hey,
they
if
say
that
about the
isn't
Lord,
heaven
mysterious
sent-
ways.
in mysterious ways.
That's
And
heaven
I
sent.
was a churchgoer, and when she told me, you're sitting where they used to sit.
That's a message,
and,
man.
and we still sit there. It's been 7 years.
I shout out to all religions first and foremost.
Yeah, it's
everyone,
not a
everyone.
religion.
You know,
It's
some
the
people.
belief.
The belief,
The
absolutely, and also furthermore, I was playing in church. I was a guitar player at Word of Faith. I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, several places out there at church, and they told me to leave after certain situations that had gone on in my life. And it was a troubling time for me, but for them to say, hey, you got to leave, I was in tears. I was walking out the door, and I was starting to cry. I was really starting to feel bad. I'm going over to my car. The guy says, you got to leave. Okay, I didn't argue. You don't argue with man of God. So I'm walking to the car, almost starting to cry, and all of a sudden, God just something just, and he says, hey, Ed, I thought it was between you and me. Oh my God! All of a sudden, I'm like, hey, I go open the car. I'm like grooving, and it's all on you. I call him Doc, and they would call me that at church. Now he's my doctor. God Almighty is who told me. He reminded me. It's a personal affair between you and me, buddy boy. He said, don't trust the other guy. I was like, what? He was comforting me in my time of sorrow.
Ed, if you don't
And that's
mind,
a Holy Spirit, man. That's a
talk
Holy
about
Spirit.
the Holy Spirit. I've got one more thing I've got to say.
Amen. This is the burning desire, guys. This is what we do here.
At this time, I was living in
Did you
San
fart?
Angelo.
Or was
No,
that your
was my
bass?
bass. I was
Just
living
kidding.
in San Angelo,
Just kidding.
and I was going to this church. And one Friday, Easter Friday, the day before Good Friday, we had a guest church from Dallas come in, and they brought their choir, and they were singing, and they were beautiful. The music was terrific, and they had these two sisters. One sang like an angel, and then the younger sister did a song after that. And I don't know what it was. Now, I can remember that her voice wasn't as angelic as her sister. But as I listened to her voice, and I'm playing bass, mind you, behind the choir, my hands dropped to my side,
Oh, my.
I could not move, and tears
Oh, my.
streamed from my eyes. Streamed from my eyes.
That's the Holy Spirit,
And I couldn't
bud.
move. I couldn't move.
That's the Holy Spirit, man.
And after church, I was over at the choir director's house, and I told him, Carl, did you see what happened to me? He said, yes, I did. I said, I don't know what happened. He says, that was the Holy Spirit.
You were touched.
Praise him.
You were touched by the Holy Spirit.
Praise
And
him.
you know what else?
Ande.
And I said, what?
Dime.
He said, you're going to be looking for that the rest of your life.
Ooh, I'm still looking for walking out of the church feeling.
And it's
I
true.
still get it. I get it right here. I get
It's
it right here,
true.
guys.
I looked for that for years and years and years.
Aside from this, I'm
after I
miserable.
moved to San Antonio, through different
Wow.
churches that I went to, and I never felt that again. But I can feel it to this day.
You know that that's a
I
real
know that was the
feeling.
That's
Holy
why I went.
Spirit.
You know.
I drive 30 miles to that church because something there touched me. Whatever it was good because I haven't had a drink in 7 years. You know,
Wow.
my wife says I'm not. I don't worry about the things I can't change. I worry about the things I can, and I pray for the things I can't change, because you know there's wars all the time. You know, people claim their Christianity yet they hate things. You know.
Well, you know, worrying, no matter what it is about that you're worrying,
Yeah.
worrying does absolutely no good.
But
Yeah.
once you
It's
get
all
just
it
making
does-
once you get
yourself sick.
you
Yeah,
feel
you're the one it turns on you.
a sense of peace
All worrying does is make you feel bad.
and get you
Yeah.
sick too.
Yeah,
and
makes you sick.
So
You know,
make you
don't
sick.
worry, because the
Turn your
Lord is in
emotions on
charge.
You got enough commotion
And
going
what's
on.
going to be is
Listen
going to
up,
be
guys.
whether you worry or not. So
Yeah.
why worry?
No,
Does
there's
no
no
good.
worry in this thing. You can be concerned about certain things.
If
but
anything,
don't
worry
let
about
it
the things you
envelope
can
man.
change, and don't worry about
And
the
don't be
things you
defined
can't
by it.
change.
Don't
Well-
be defined by challenges in your life. Don't. You keep challenging them and you keep
Hey,
doing your groove.
take
And it doesn't
action.
matter what anybody has to say about it.
But you know what? I've been
Dan?
homeless. So I was homeless in the valley.
Emmett?
I was homeless in the valley when I was performing there, and I won't say why I
Everybody's
was, but I
everybody's
was
homeless in the
I
valley.
was
Dan.
homeless in the valley, and I didn't have friends. I had a car that with a
Everybody's
wheel in
homeless.
the back was shaking. Everybody would go, "Your back wheel." I said, "I know, it's shaking. You know, it's going." But it was a
And it
good
fell off.
experience. It was a good experience because it taught me
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you, Caleb.
that anybody's vulnerable.
Don't worry, take action.
Yeah. Don't
Could
worry,
happen.
be happy.
By the way, we still don't own, help me with the outro, we still don't own the rights to Archie Bell and the Drells. Crank it up a little bit, my brother. You know, we love this song. We grew up with this group.
We opened for the Archie when they were down here in San
Again, did you
Antonio.
open up all the way down?
Yeah, I did. I always do.
He
For
was a
Archie,
good
I would
opener.
have. I would
was
have.
a-
I
no.
would have opened up all the way. for Archie.
We with the Jesters, we had a good time. We had that girl sing a song for peace. We were national artists. I mean, we were just it was a great effort.
Yeah, and the other
What a
thing,
bass line.
The bass line and the trap set. They get the drum and the bass.
But you see,
and then you
nowadays,
have the bass, the drums, the rhythm, and then.
nowadays the songs are what they were. Now
then the
it's one
clapping,
chord,
cut it
one
out.
note all the way through, and they talk somewhere after they do. But there's no more love songs. There's no
This
more,
has got me dancing.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, but get off of me. I
Now
remember
make it mellow.
all the groups. Remember the Commands? The Commands. No Time
Yeah.
for You. That Jack Martinez was in the band with us. God, there were so many. Nowadays,
Do it right now.
it's hard to have a big band now because the pay is the same as it was 40 years ago.
Tell that to Walter.
Yeah, they
Walter's got like 12 people in his band now.
yeah, I don't know how you can do that and pay a band because nobody wants to pay. I do a single now. I do a single now with my music. So, you know, but it's not the same. Emmett's over here dancing on the table.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the way it's gone on today. Memorial Day weekend. San Antonio Musicians Talk Show Network with two of my brothers, man. Emmett Pastran Jr. It's his show with the Dan Michael review over here.
I'm his
And trust
host.
me, he's a reviewer, man. I could sit here and talk to him for another 10 years. No joke.
I gotta go home.
But yeah, but listen to the show on Ed Ocampo Senior Facebook and San Antonio Musicians Talk Show Network on YouTube, as well as and what was it? And the other one is San Antonio Musicians Talk Show Network Facebook page. So it's on Facebook. You don't have to go to our URL. Y que la chingada. Just freaking click on it.
You can also go to Dan Michael on Facebook.
Dan Michael on
Michael,
Facebook.
no S. Dan Michael. And I put a song every night
Every night.
that I've recorded over 200 songs.
Jesus
So
Christ,
I
Dan.
put a song every night. So if anybody wants to hear me.
Anything?
Emma's dancing over here.
I don't have a thing to say. I'm too busy dancing.
Yeah. But get off of me.
Well, guys, let's say bye-bye to everybody.
Goodbye.
Ta-ta.
We had a
love
great
you.
time.
We love you. And yeah, we've had a wonderful time. Great show, guys. Great show. And we missed Wild Bill, by the way. So, hey,
Yeah.
here we go. We're out. Love you, man. Hasta luego. Cut.
Beautiful.